So if you're looking to create a packaged food business, I'm going to give you steps 16 through 20, the last video in our series of 4, and we're going to get to it right now. All right, this is Damien, and this is Marketing Food Online, and this is going to be the 4th and final video in the series of 4, giving you steps 1 through 20 of getting your packaged food business up and running. There are 3 other videos we've got in our library of videos, and I'll put some links down below if you haven't seen those. Are steps 1 through 15, and then this is going to give you 16 through 20. So I broke it up into 5 steps per video because I definitely don't want you guys to fall asleep while I'm talking, and I want to keep my videos short and sweet and to the point. So let's hop right to it. I'm going to give you steps 16 through 20. And again, these are going to be some great foundational steps for you to understand and take action on. There is a lot that goes into creating a food product, but once it's created and once you've got it out there and you begin to fill orders, all of that initial effort and such will be well worth it. So these are 20 steps that are going to give you some really good foundational understanding of what is needed in order for you to create a packaged food product. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right to it. So now the step 16, if you are looking to get your product locally, you want to talk to a buyer. You want to get your product, your sell sheet, your information into a buyer's hand. Now, I always recommend stay away from big chain retail right up front. Places like Walmart, Costco's, Whole Foods, these types of places have a much different type of purchasing process. In order for them to bring a new product into their huge lineup of products, it's a much larger deal than it is to do something local. So I always try to say and stress to a lot of my clients I do consulting with, you want to start local and start small, keep your ideas really big, but take really tiny steps and be patient with the process. The process itself is what you want to focus on when you start any type of business. But as long as you're enjoying the process and you get excited about the challenge of creating it, that's going to lead to a really well selling product or service, whatever it may be that you're doing. So in particular, get yourself locally, get to a local store. If you don't have one in mind and you're looking to get into a store, you want to meet some of the local store buyers or managers. Meeting some of the local store managers or even the owners of the stores. A lot of times, small mom and pop businesses, the owners themselves, maybe a husband and wife, they actually do the buying, or they have a local manager that's on duty within the store itself who will be the one in charge of bringing on new products, local products actually. So get out there and kind of hustle your product, meet some of these people, shake some hands, introduce yourself, bring your sell sheet, and get some contact information, leave some samples of your product, and then from there, you'll have a better opportunity to get into stores locally. All right, number 17 is going to help you understand the power of your family and friends. Now, I'm always a big believer that you should always start locally and start small. And what I mean by that is even within your own community or within your own friend base or your families and coworkers. Start locally and promote your company and your product to them. Okay, bringing samples to your workplace. If you're working right now and you're not actually doing this full time as far as a business, creating a food product, that's fine. That's actually great. It's going to give you a chance to get your product and get people to sample it, get some feedback, maybe get a couple of opinions about the packaging. And getting family and friends to give you that feedback is super important. It's a great way to kind of gauge whether or not your product is something that you could really create a business from. So ask them for their opinion and tell them, hey, look, I need you to be completely honest. Do you think this is a product I can create a business from? Would you buy it if you saw it on the shelf? Get that feedback and kind of build up a little bit of a local following, if you will, from family and friends and even coworkers. It's a really great way to kind of gauge. So definitely do that. Next one up is what's known as point of purchase materials. Now, what is a point of purchase materials, Damien? Well, they are the little bits of information, whether it's a sign, whether it's a brochure, whether it's any type of printed material or even a display that's going to allow it to stick out, your product to stick out on the store shelves. Now, it's kind of tricky getting the stores to allow you to do this, but when you're dealing with mom and pop stores or locally owned businesses, it's a lot easier than doing it with like Whole Foods and such because they follow a corporate guideline in regards to advertising and promoting products within the store shelves and on the store, in the store as well. So this is a little tricky, but like I said, when you're doing it locally, when you have a locally owned business, it's a lot easier to get in, as well as it's a lot easier to get your promotional material in the store. If you have a display, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but when you go to a grocery store, you'll see a lot of cardboard displays, those pop-ups. Those are great ways to also get your product recognized and known, kind of just stand out from the store shelf, because it's actually an independently freestanding display, and it's dedicated specifically to your product. Now, in order for you to get those made, yes, there's companies that do it, and you can actually get them made for anywhere between about $100 to maybe a couple $100. But once you have them standing out by themselves, a lot more product is sold through those because of the fact that it has its own display and it stands out compared to the products on the shelf. All right, so number 19, you're going to need to land that first order. You need to get a purchase order. Get your first store up and away. Get yourself on the shelf locally in a store. Now, if it's only one store, that is perfectly fine. It should be, because it's going to give you an opportunity to really interact and get some experience interacting by meeting with these store managers, placing the orders, fulfilling the orders, and everything that goes involved with the actual relationship that you're building with that store. So don't jump into trying to get 10 or 15 or 20 stores. 1 or 2 or maybe 3 stores is a great way to get started. Once you get your product on the shelf, you're going to feel amazing. It's super exciting. I can tell you from my own experience, we landed our first store here where we live, and the company that we actually got gave us 9 stores eventually. But the first store that we put our product in was, me and my wife totally freaked out. We got really excited. So it's a really exhilarating time once you get a product on the store shelf. So land that first order, get your purchase order, make your product, and get it all set. And then once you are in that first store, I'm going to tell you the experience is really amazing. Now, that's only the beginning, because then you need to deliver the product. Now, once the product is in the store, many stores will do this, and they'll require you to do this, is that you need to do sampling. Potentially new products, a lot of times you'll set up a table, you'll sample some of it out, because even though they've got products similar to yours, that doesn't mean that your product itself will stand out on the shelf. And if a store doesn't actually require it, ask them if you can. My wife and I had to go every single weekend. We had 9 different stores. We did a rotation every month, and every other week or so we would be transitioning to different stores. We would set up a table, we would sample for 2 hours, and it was actually part of the contract. It was a stipulation in the contract that we had to, because it's a new product, we had to demo it, sample it, and then, basically hustle it. We had to get people to buy the product. So once you get in the store, that's really only the beginning. You're not done. You can't wash your hands of it, walk away, and you're finished. You need to make sure it's, hey, look, if you don't have this, as far as the sampling process is concerned in your store, can I come in and sample it? Why? On the weekends, you're going to get a lot of traffic, and it's going to give you an opportunity to let people try your product, and you're going to begin to sell the product. So you want to start getting the product to go moving in, moving out. You want to get it in the stores sold, and you want to replenish it and keep moving product, because it's only going to get the store going to be more impressed with the fact that you're selling a few hundred or a couple thousand units. A few hundred units or a couple thousand units in each store, it would be phenomenal. So, but that is going to entail you hustling the product, and tell the store manager or tell the buyers or tell the owner, say, look, I really would love to get in on the weekends. Maybe just give me an hour or so. Let me put my product in. Let me offer it, as I said, as a sample, and let's sell the product. Because here's what's going to happen. If you're a new product and you get put onto a shelf and there's 7 other items next to yours, they're going to get lost in the mix. People are not going to know that it's locally made. People are not going to know that it's a brand new item. They're not going to know that it's made in small batches, maybe with high quality products, whatever it may be. It's organic, whatever the selling part or the feature of the product is, they're not going to know that. But if you're sitting there at the store itself and you're near the checkout line and you've got a product on your table and you've got a sample demo table set, it's a great way to start selling the product. Trust me, it will work. So that is 16 through 20. Those are the 20 tips, the most important factors that I personally would believe are going to really get you a great foundation to get your product into store shelves and creating a packaged food business. So take a look at those. If you've got questions, as always, please do let me know, and I will do my best to get to your questions as soon as possible. And then take a look at our next video we got coming up. I've got a link, by the way, in the description down below that's going to give you the other 3 videos, so you can take a look at them sequentially from 1, 2, 3, and 4.